Alright peeps, welcome back to the smaller half of our island here, also known as our one-tile city. Now in this episode, not only are we going to likely crest $500,000 dudes, look at that big old green bar, but we also have a couple of other bars to be dealing with, like our low residential demand and the ever maxed out commercial demand. So why don't we start with what is most certainly the easiest hour here. Let's fill in this bit area here with some bloody fancy pants low residency housing. I mean, surely we can make something proper fancy out of that. But before we plop any hooses in, I've got one thing I want to do to make this sightline, well, even remotely visible. Oh yeah, and as usual, we're gonna be upgrading, extending, and making our bike superhighway that bit better. So now that we've got the glorious sightline that will soon become the dreaded sightline for cyclists with this bloody hill, alright if you're going down, but not so much if you're coming up. First of all, we're gonna go 2 deep northeastern commercial, and then we've got our 1 North American 6 long waterfront asset, so let's plop that down. And then we'll shift out to a 5 long for a bit of bloody variety. Well, that and the fact that the road turns up here. The one thing that has been bothering me for a little while is we don't have any bloody commercial here because apparently it's outside city limits. However, I reckon we can squeeze a laddie in right about here. And then on the other side, I want to switch to the complementary one. Bop it in. Oh, this is going to be absolutely grand, especially once I sort these out a wee bit. There we go. That's a lot nicer now. They hug the road nigh on perfectly. And it even leaves us a wee corner here to plop in a fancy pants urban parkette. Although actually, since it's just started raining, I might change that to a canopy covered parkette. Get that bad lad plopped in there. Oh, and let me just double check. Yeah, now we're not outside city limits there. We're happy days in it. But now that we've got our bit commercial sorted, let's come back to our fancy waterfront housing. I'm going to want to start at 2 deep, and then I feel comfortable going out to 3 deep just after that. Then if I can stay within the city limits, I'll go bloody 4 deep. Oh, would you look at that? It's not outside city limits, but if I move over 1 more, bloody is. So we're getting a 4 deep laddie right there. Perfectamundo. Now we just need to see how cheeky we can be with this. We're going to have to go down to 2 on the lot depth. Can I go 3 wide? No. Can I go 2 wide? No. Looks like all we're doing here is a nice park to top it all off. Just not that long, you know. I mean, looking at this, we could go mental with a canopy covered pocket park. I will happily do that. Nice wide pocket park for the edge of the city there. Oh, peeps, so you see how bloody chock-a-block this little crossing is? This express route here was sorely in need of. And if I'm cheeky here, I should be able to plop this hoostone right on that plot of land. Oh, that is awesome. I'm even going to try me luck at popping a cul-de-sac down. Why aye, that's almost bloody natural and might give us a spot here. Probably not for any zoning, but maybe for a wee park. So let's make sure we're not out of boons, because we are properly on the edge here, like. Oh, I don't even have to turn on anarchy for this. I can just plop it down. Tell you what, like, this isn't a bad wee mansion if you like people watching. You get to see all the people gone by. And if you take your step out the front door, you can go to the edge of the map park. We've got a little kiosk if you've got any questions about the edge of the map. You can have a contemplate on a bench, get some cover under the sun for a contemplate, or get some goodies at the kiosk. I even popped some mad flowers down while not blocking the access to that door there either. It's a fun little edge of the map. And for this wee triangle, I'm thinking we go all North American and get a big old hickory on here. Just a little something like that. Now wouldn't you just love to have a walk past that hickory there? Now since we've got this bit pedestrian path with cycleway, we may as well extend our superhighway all the way to the cul-de-sac. That way where cyclists can enjoy the edge of the map park as well as get up the big steep hill. Or if they don't want to go up that steep hill, I'm also going to be opening up an alternate route all the way up here. Now upgrading the road is the easy bit. Now we have to get a cycle path from the tip here all the way to up here. Or should I start smooshing these industries in a bit closer? Yeah, we'll do that. We'll get some custom industry in this corner, and then we'll get the cycle path on. Ooh, or do I bring the cycle path? Yes, that's what's happening. That is precisely what's happening. So ye, pal, are getting deleted. Alright, I've scooted with industry over, so we've got a clear path from here, and then down the side. Now, for the sake of having a fair dinkum four-way junction here, I'm going to go straight for 30 metres, and then we're just going to whip out a real casual 90-degree corner. With anarchy off, so we can make sure we're diving gun out of bounds. And then now, it's just a case of scooting in a little something like that. With anarchy on, of course, because game says no. Oh, that's not half bad, that, like. We've still got 3 full bits of bloody zoning up here. And that's before I gone ahead and start tweaking with things. Not bad. Nice and smooth. And that actually is fairly smooth. A little ride up the hill. And look at this, we've got Olive using it already. Hopefully Olive has a bit of a duck under the tree there. Or the council gets it out of there before she gets conked. Let me preemptively upgrade all of these sections to be retaining walls. Because I want a zone all the way out. A bit like how we did with Principes, which is standing out and not in a good way, because we've got red, 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 and then yellow sitting here. Let's change this yellow to something a bit more red. You can have yourself a deep orange. You still got a touch of individuality there, Principes. Oh, but before we go too far, I've been wanting to check on this bad lad. We are quickly approaching our 100 tons a month limit. We need to sort... Oh, no, we're not. We've already passed it. Well, in that case... Actually, not necessarily in that case. Let's have a little bit of a look at how much this stuff costs first. 880,000! You know, we're going to go ahead and let this garbage fill up a little bit first. In the meantime, I'm going to bring in some revenue with some custom zoning. Oh, now this bad lad looks cool. This is the clean industrial manufacturing plant. Let's get it plippity-plop down and then see if we can work some move at magic. Oh, nah, I do not mind kissing corners like that. That is properly perfect. Now, I am just going through with a level terrain tool here and just leveling out this entire retaining wall to the same height as this building itself. Otherwise, it looks a bit dodgy, whereas now it looks proper perfect. Just don't look at that corner. Oh, and that's 2 bloody perfect. Not today, like. That fits like a glove. Let's level this terrain, smoothing that retaining wall right up there. Now, I'm not exactly sure what's going on here. We have a bit of a dip. I don't think there's anything there. The only thing I can think of is the owners of this manufacturing plant thought it would be funny to have a mega parking challenge on their lot. That's the only thing I can think of. Why wouldn't you want to test your handbrake? Yeah, now that is mildly annoying because I would love to do a fancy slope all the way down, but game says no. Now for our next plot of land, we're straying awfully close to some residential here, so let's switch it up from industrial to commercial. Now unfortunately, I'm not going to be plopping any bloody 6 long laddies on here. Although what I do want to do, before we commit to anything, you know, let's go ahead and extend the road a bit. At least to there. Why have you got a key? Eee, the cheeky beggars! Look at these 4 long laddies! Well, these are going to get demolished at some point, but for now, yous can remain. And earn us some tax dollary-doos. And looking at what we got here, I could go 4x2, but I might stay with 3x2 instead. I mean, as fantastic as the Vajag building does look there, I have a plan that requires this bit of land to not be covered by a building. And why aye! This is as bloody North American as it gets! And it's red! We've got the bloody streamlined diner there. And it leaves this bit of path open. First of all, nae key for ye. Ooh, and could I be cheeky here and say key all the way down and turn it into one road? I think that is, it's one road. It's one blooming road. That is exactly what I wanted, because you can get a nice smooth ramp when you do it that way. And you know what, actually? The council has decided to have this level here be the same as right here. We are no longer respecting the topography. Although I might try and change it to there. Now we still have a bit of a gap, but it's not as extreme. Yeah, the council backtracked on that real bloody quick. And it's definitely not just because the mayor wanted to have some fancy keys knocking about. Or at least try and force this into working properly if you make it a fancy key. You know, not quite what I was after. Nah, it seems like that's just a bit dodgy. Maybe it's a dodgy bit of the map. But regardless of that, we do need to get a path going from in this little gap here down to this lower road. Now that is quite the bloody steepness. Imagine if I had have actually put it all the way down like it was planned. That would be like a full-on flight of stairs. And you know what? If this bit of road's dodgy, I'm gonna pop a bloody alley on. Oh, did that fix it? The alley bloody fixed it! Well, that's what alleys do for you. Because up off Cranberry Lane here, where the posties like to chuck their U-turns, is the perfect spot for a cheeky pub. I mean, I know pubs aren't the biggest in North America, but when you've been grafting in your office all day, you just want a nice cold beverage, you know. Lime and soda, if you're feeling spicy. Maybe a blackcurrant and soda. Oh, and here's the brewery van. Going in to collect all of that soda water. Of course, the heat's got to have its bloody path connecting it all together. So now you can go from your bicycle superhighway, have yourself a wander up there. I did put a key on this side, you know, just because there might be some tippity-topsy people coming out of the heath. But you can get on your bloody path. You can walk up the big hill, which will feel like nout after a night in the heath. And then you can go back to your waveform tower. Which, to be fair, is where most of the people live. Nigh on 4,000 of the figures. And we've only got 7 apartments left. Now, of course, you can't have a bloody heath pub without a beer garden. And you know you're in for a good time when the bloody benches are all on the piss. Look at them gone. And look at the bloody city gone, growing around with here. And there's our bike superhighway officially plumbed in down here. And once we remove these crossings, we can get this side all plumbed in. There we go, that's a fair dinkum highway connection. I mean, up here, I think we've got 4 connections. 1 connection up, 2 connections up, and then the other side, 3 connections up. And then, oh, this isn't a connection, but it is part of the main road down here. Well, I must say, I'm pretty darn happy with our setup here, and so is this cyclist. Look at them flying up on the big cycle expressway. They'll be going straight to graft. Which way you going, mate? Left, right, straight? Either way there's a bike lane. Well, not strictly straight. And when did ye move onto the path? I'm the only one that's allowed to move it round here. But the thing is, peeps, we still have an insatiable demand for residential and commercial. And a green spot of land here that we need to start concreting up. So I'm going to squeeze in this corner here. A little 2x2. And then, you know the drill from the last episode. We get a road out. We get a road across 90 degrees. We plonk on a good few more of these. We then delete said road that we just placed. So we can rebuild it, but this time actually connect it in. And seeing that it wants to be at 79 degrees, because it's inevitably going to get crazy when it's trying to connect it to the motorway, the cycle lane and everything. Oh, and it's only went and bloody lined up. Get that plopped in. Upgrade it all to be a bridge, just so I can downgrade it all to not be a bridge. Oh, and I was hoping that was going to create one section, but it doesn't look like it. Maybe the key trick will do it? Ooh! The key trick does it! So that key thing is actually a bit of a pro tip. Like, I was joking when I said it last time, but genuinely, pro tip, peeps! And for this road, because we've already got retaining walls all the way up here, and want to get as much headroom underneath the on-ramp as possible, I'm just going to set the height to the intersection. So it's a perfectly straight level road there. Which can't really be said for the rest of this year. What the bloomin' heck happened? Well, that's nout. A little bit of move-it magic won't sort out anyway. There we go. Still steep, but canny. Oh, before people start moving in these, let's get them out. Because we could fit a whole row of rosen in there. And surely, haha, that'll all be popped straight in. And let me just pick one of these bad lads. And gone. right in there. Look at that, we've got people coming out of there already. It's just on the path a bit. Don't worry, we've got a bit of space up this end with the zoning. We can cram it all in. And while we're who's our zoning in over here, I want to get commercial on the other side. Maybe some shops for the kids to get in after school. Oh, and we got ourselves some bonus northeast commercial units. Let's go ahead and squeeze this right on here like that. Or do we put the castle down and then the bonus one on the side? Oh, why, aye, that's the way to do it right there. And for this wee triangle, I want to try and get some mixed residential commercial usage on the gun. Ooh, which we have a fair bit of. Is this another castle-y one? It is. It's a big one and all, though. Ooh. What if we do one here, and then... That's a different building, MiGly. One here. Now that could be a fun bit of use for this space. I suppose that's providing we have enough clearance, which I say would D. That is fine with me. Now I would mind the height difference, however. Look at this white line in the middle. It lines up. I mean, not if you get this close to it. But if you're back here, it actually looks like one cohesive building. Well, if we copy this colour palette and plop it on this building right here, now it looks like one cohesive building. It is a shame about this, bad lad, though. You are going to have to find a home elsewhere. Now, as for this deed space we've got here, I want to create a fancy little park complex. Like we did at the bloody chock-a-block waveform towers here. Oh, you what? Well, you're not going to get built anymore here because you're just going to be whinging about bloody noise pollution. And it looks like the rest of this is going to be zoned by commercial, which means it'll immediately get plopped in, of course. That is a good thing, because we do need to shift all of this over just a touch. See that gap there? We want to bloody fill it. Oh, look how close the crane is if you're up on the bloody walkway. Oh, this will be a crazy sight to behold. And if we have a peek at our roof here, we can see that pedestrians, the many of them, are no longer walking through old mate's house here. Back over here, I've shifted this building right into the edge there, so it looks like it's properly built for it. I mean, it is just proper on the corner there. I absolutely love it. Looks even better from above because it's ruined. But anywho, park complex. That's what we're doing. And since we already have this surface popping out here, let's extend this out and make this the surface. And here we are, peeps. Oh, Gobbo truck does remind me. I need to check on all of that processing. Well, we're already over. I need to make sure I got enough money. There's a park. We've got our unified surface. I changed the one in the school. It goes all the way around the back, connecting into another park here, all the way around the side, into a third park, and back down into the school. But yeah, now how much money we got? 890? It's 880 for that recycling centre, isn't it? It certainly is. And if you're wondering why I'm all about that bloody Japanese recycling centre, let's bloody show you, peeps. First of all, the landfill only processes 100 tonnes a month. The recycling centre, 1,500 tonnes. Just a little bit more, you know. But the recycling centre is a bloody massive. It does technically fit there, like, it actually just fits in there. It's right on the corner of that bit of bloody road. And it can be upgraded a fair bit. The Japanese recycling centre, lovely and small, can't be upgraded. However, we've got a one-tile city, mate. 1,500 tonnes of garbage capacity is plenty. Plus, we're officially a bloody boom town. We're going to have to blow up a landfill. Everybody loved that. But will everybody be happy with the Japanese recycling centre, which has a nice low side to it? Oh yes, we are plopping this right up against the shortway highway. I'm just waiting until we'll have a vehicle spawn in or straight on the brakes that any shot themselves. They spawned in when we're like, oh my god, why is there a building on the blooming highway? Oh no, it's just to the side of the highway. It's all G. I got picture-in-picture in this update, don't we? Look at this little dude. Oh, picture-in-picture in a massive bloody... No, I've crashed, haven't I? Yep. So I'll be back. And I can see from the screen here that we're going to have the joys of demolishing the landfill once again. Not only that, but plopping it right next to the motorway once again. 10 grand! Oh, peeps, we've got 10 grand to a name. I think we're going to have to go into services, get our garbage management halfway down, and move our garbage hosts ever so slightly here. There we go. We've got ourselves a proper sexy little gap there. You know, Japanese recycling centre, you best get sending all of your truck suit, because you've got an entire tile to tidy up. Oh, waiting on ambulances. Is our wee clinic here not quite keeping up? Efficiency 25%. Oh, the service budget! Neither bloody wonder. They'll only have one vehicle. That's if they're lucky. So now, let's get this budget back up to 100. And you know what? Let's get maybe some of these back up to 100. I was going to say all of them. But we'll just, for now, say maybe some of them. We want the coppers up at 100. The garbage can stay down, because we should be well underneath the processing status. Yes. We're over double. I do love the recycling centre underneath the motorway. Sorry, the shortway highway. Speaking of shortway highway, the shortway highway down to the beach off-ramp has got a little bit of green space here that needs to be bloody filled. Unfortunately, not by the real estate mansion though. Although we can certainly squeeze a 3x5 and a 2x5 in there. And with those waterfront fancy houses, surely that's the demand satiated. You what? Still full? Am I going to have to increase some taxes? I mean, not that I need to. You look at those 3 bars whooshing up there. And we're making money off Walecki. Fair enough. Yep, we'll make our money off Walecki. We're not even exporting it. That's just selling it to the people in our tile. And what to do with our recently opened up space here? I mean, up near the waveform tower, we're going to have to be gunning for a bit of commercial to block off the noise, as we found out for these little commercial plots here. But as for the rest of this place, I say we just extend the bloody alleys. And I reckon I found the perfect bit of commercial to gun in here. A bookshop, followed by the apothecary. And I must admit, I do enjoy the big bookshop being up the top of the hill, smack dab in the middle. And then this place is absolutely bouncing at night when all of the chimneys are switched off. It's a proper party central up here. And after actually getting the building centred with the road, we've squeezed ourselves a wee slot here. A wee slot for a nice illuminated path. Of being careful to take up the least amount of zoning as possible. We want to get right on the edge before once again straightening up and connecting straight into all of these paths here. Blooming hell, I haven't even finished tidying these paths up and we've got pedestrians using them. There we have. Tidy little bit of pedestrian access. Different worry about the bin lorries coming out on the alleys. And looking at our zoning here, we should be able to extend the bit of commercial that we had crocking along up here. So let's get yees deleted and see that our lot depth can be 5 here. And if we're cheeky here, we might be able to get a fancy pants bit of left and right commercial. Of course, we're blocking pedestrian access here. However, look at all of this space we've got to move on our. Oh, that is beautiful, lad. That is absolutely perfect-mundo right there. And I reckon we take the colour palette for the Principes and pop it on this bad lad. Oh no, that looks terrible. Let's revert that. I just want to try and match the oranges. And then on this one, I want to try and match the colour with the red on here. So it'll be slightly different, you know? And I reckon that is pretty perfect. We got a colour match to the Principes. We got a colour match to this bit of commercial here. Oh, and that's right. I said I was going to shift things about in the last episode and I never did. I just allowed cars to park inside Principes. You know what, let's sort this out now before we forget again. And I shouldn't have moved it because now it's kicking off that it's got any pedestrian access. But thankfully, we have another option in here, which is even getting in with the colour scheme. This is, I don't know if this is like coded in to be a little colour scheme area, but it's like being one. What are ye whinging about, pal? I will delete you. Didn't think I won't, because I bloody will. And this one fits in bloody perfectly. All I really have to do is mess around with a couple of surfaces, you know? Like, this isn't tiles, this is a bloody road. But other than that, this just looks like one big old shopping complex / office. Oh, nah, I am well happy with our Japanese bloody recycling station, like. Look at all of the trucks underneath there! Oh, and it's opened up this plot of land, which is looking bloody beautiful now. And if we turn the hood off, we've got our perfectly nobody's complaining new street over here. Well, that's all on top of the fact that we got our low density waterfront housing all plopped in. Oh, look at that sight line there. Oh, you're a cyclist gunning up. You have a decision to make, yeah, didn't you? Oh, you know, we're going to have to do one last thing before we do an end of episode speedy up bit. Let's dive into this elementary school and plop the extension wing on. I believe that does something that I really do not want it to do. Yep, that is unfortunate. However, does lead us pretty nicely into what we're going to be doing the next episode, which is sorting out our education first and foremost, and demolishing our entire highway. And for now, we'll just have ourselves a bit of a Humpty Dumpty slip road here. I'm sure the trucks won't mind gunning our there. It's more if you're leaving through the bloody beachway. That's when you get into issues. Oh, and you know, we're probably going to have to sort out our electricity as well. I'm going to bump this to 122%. But for now, I just want to thank yous for watching. Enjoy the freeway while you can. Because the second we get into the next episode, it's coming down. But while we're in the end of the episode speedy up bit here, you can appreciate our fancy little commercial line across the water sloper. You can see we're edge of tail park there. You can see we're big golden hickory down the bottom. And that cycle expressway that we put in. Well, both the cycle expressways, because the one that snakes around the industry at the top and all. Oh, this is proper coming together now. You can see one bit of the map that we have not touched yet. I've got some sort of crazy idea for that. I just haven't fully finalised it yet. I don't even know if it's possible, peeps. But if it is remotely possible, I'll make it happen. Anywho, I'm waffling yet again. Have yourselves a canny old time in between episodes. And a toodaloo!